Today's guest is one of the biggest producers in Punjabi music, working with the biggest Punjabi artists. The man behind the sound, Intense.
I remember meeting at
I feel like a therapist here with...
I was saying, like, this could be a therapy session.
So now if I like sucking, I'd be A.R. Rahman over there. Right? I always regretted not coming up with a clever name.
Like right on the spot, what would you switch it to?
I thought Jane Ash was clever.
I'll tell you some things that he said to me that really pissed me off as a kid.
Love it, yeah.
Hey guys, we're back. I got a great episode today. So today's guest is pretty cool. He's, in my opinion, the person who put Canada on the map when it comes to Punjabi music, period. And that's coming from me, someone who was, raised in Canada and then went to the UK to make a name for myself. But this guy, Karan Aujla, he's worked with, Diljit Dosanjh, he's worked with Guru Randhawa, AP Dhillon. He's got over millions and millions of monthly listeners on Spotify. He's my little brother, well, he's a big guy, but my little brother, I've known him for years. Give it up for my boy Intense. And Neil?
I love it. Oh, yeah. That was the nicest thing I ever heard you say in my life. I've seen you say in my life. Like, wow, Sanj just said all that about me?
No, but it's all true.
It is.
Right.
I think you have a poem that you wrote for him, right? In the car?
Poem?
Yeah, you wrote a poem for him.
Back pocket.
You wrote the poem for him.
I think we got a poem? No way.
No, because the thing is, I don't think a lot of people know, but our moms are best friends.
Yeah.
Right? Which is always
Crazy.
get a laugh about it, right? And so I've known you since I think when you first, way in the beginning.
Yeah, I was when I started
teenager.
making remixes and DJing, making little beats and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. And I always say proud of you for everything you've achieved. And genuinely, if you look at the Canadian Punjabi music scene, I don't think it happens without you, because you look at let's go back to let's say Guru Randhawa, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's one of the first big acts that you broke?
Yeah, that was probably the first song that was internationally acclaimed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were just doing more music locally here. But give yourself some credit too, man, because at the end of the day, you're the one who kind of built the Canadian sound, I would say. There was a sound.
In England.
Which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that I was over here making Englandy style music in Canada, so it was kind of like a back and forth thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a certain sonic that you had to your music that you just kind of had a definition of Vancouver in there, I felt like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I used to interpret the music.
Yeah. No, you had to have, it was the bottom end. And very hip hop influence.
100%.
And
your mothers are gonna love this moment here, going back and forth,
right?
Complimenting. They're gonna just cheers each other. Oh, our songs are so good.
While they're partying in Mexico, right?
Yeah, exactly. But just looking at all the artists that Sanj said that you elevated. You've taken these artists to another level, and it's not just a one-time deal. You've done it multiple times. Where do you go from that? What's the next thing? Is it just a humbling, or are you going, well, I'm over this, I'm gonna go next? What is it?
I think one of the most important things with music nowadays is trying to keep that humbleness and stay hungry. If you want to keep doing it, there is a point where you get, you're successful and you have everything that you kind of want materialistically or whatever. But, it's just kind of trying to find that place where you're just always hungry for it. You're like that next hit, you're always chasing it, right?
Yeah.
We're in a different day and age of music nowadays where social media and short form content and stuff has really taken over. So it's hard to kind of get that hit nowadays. So, my whole game has always been to develop artists, take somebody from zero and make them something, you know what I mean? So, because when we were growing up here, we didn't have no real Punjabi music industry.
There was no scene here.
No, there's nothing, absolutely zero. The fact that my mom goes to me oh, have you ever heard of DJ Sanj? We're going to go over to his house for dinner. I was like, DJ Sanj lives here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we first met and having that whole idea that there's still people from here that can do it and make it abroad, that was a big thing to me. So I'm gonna tell a story when I first met you from my perspective of everything. Because it was one of those it was a big deal for me at that time. I think it was 2004 or 5. You had just, I don't know if it was around then. No, it was a little bit later. I can't remember.
No, I think it was around that.
Don't give us the nice parts. Give us the bad parts.
No, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna lay it down.
I need that.
I'll tell you some things that he said to me that really pissed me off as a kid.
Love it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. We go over to the house, I meet Sanj, and I'm starstruck as fuck, you know what I mean? I actually had a mixtape, I think I released in 2004, where I had a track called DJ Sanj Mega Mix.
You still have that?
I still have it. It's in one of my mixtapes out there somewhere. It's out there. And like I've been a big fan of him. So for me to go over to his house and like our moms are friends, I'm like, this is fucking crazy to me. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I remember walking in, I brought a CD and I'm like, I'm gonna play this for him and he's gonna tell me, like, maybe he'll hook me up with this artist and I'll get there and there. And I walk in and he goes, he's like, listen to me. He's like, you're an artist, I'm an entertainer. And he said that to me.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
And he pissed me the fuck off because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah. But then as time progressed in life, I started, that conversation always stuck in my mind, artist and entertainer. And I'm like, okay, I get it now, right? Because I'm watching the difference between people who are just trying to make music or people who are trying to go and put their music out there and go and perform it in ways that people are enjoying it, right? Because I was just there trying to make a craft, trying to make a sound. I didn't really know what I was doing or what I was trying to do, right? So, went to his house. He played me a bunch of music, which was cool at that time. You would show me Deep and Kamala stuff time before it come out. And like, fast forward 5 years later, I'm with Deep and Kamala in Mumbai making music and we're traveling freaking across India, So, and like, you pioneered that kind of whole sound. You had these things, you were ahead of the time.
Yeah, that album, I remember pitching that. So the Deep and Kamala album, when we did it, no one in the UK was like, dude, what is this?
Yeah.
And this is like you gotta remember, so everyone remembers Bohemia popping off, right? This is at the same time.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? And so when we finished the album, we were trying to shop it. And then we got it with tips.
Yeah.
And they shot the videos and everything. But then that was a whole long story. But then that all came crashing down as well. But you try to elevate, but sometimes you're too far ahead.
100%.
And it's too much of a pull to bring that crowd with you, right? And so it's like kismet then, right? Like it just happened. And you don't take it personally. At the moment, at the time, you take it personally.
Of course.
But then afterwards, you're like, it just is what it is. Right?
No, and everything's meant to be when it's meant to be, you know what I mean? So like, I started taking a lot of these kind of things in my life, the way I grew up to music. Like our Sanj essentially kind of grew up the same way.
Yeah.
Our parents don't really speak much Punjabi at home with us. We speak English. My Punjabi sucks. I'm not the best Punjabi speaker. And my mom and dad did not listen to Punjabi music. They were very much into, pop and rock and stuff like that. My dad listened to AC/DC. My mom's listening to like Funky Town and songs like these, right? So Boney M, that kind of music. But I always absorbed everything growing up, since I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, music was something that like, I remember going to reception parties and I'd remember certain songs from a party and things like that. And like, I'd talk to my uncles and stuff and then I'd be like, yeah, do you remember this song from this time? Like, how do you even know this? How do you remember this? And I guess that was something in my life that I've always kept. And in the music that I was making, I'm like, how do I make somebody sound different? How do I go and advance their sound? Guru Randhawa, for example, when we did Tenu Soot Soot Karda, at that time, we did the record and like T-Series was like, oh, we needed to be like super desi. Like we need more tol and tolki in there, right? At that time, Major Lazer was taken off and that whole tropical house sound. Yeah. I'm like, no. This is a sound. This is what we got to do. Like, I love Tol Tolki, but fuck the Tol and Tolki right now. We're going to go in this direction.
Yeah.
And we did it. And they were still like, no, we need it. I'm like, listen, I'm like, just trust me on the vision. I'm like, I don't care. Just put it out and watch what happens. And the proof is in the pudding.
When you like when that song came out, do you felt like that was like your theme going forward, or was that?
It was like I get bored quick.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like if something sounds like something else, I really didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? And that was like the most important thing. The record we did before that was called Khat with Ikka. And that was like, the same thing. It was like a trap record that really hadn't been done in India at the time. Like I had like, like it was like a sad song. So I had like chords going and then it built up and then it had like a trap drop. And nobody in India had ever done that before. And so they were like, where did this come from? Like, what is this sound? And then we did Suit and it was the same thing essentially. And that kind of idea, build up and drop it. And you have the big, bounce. Right. And then I was like, okay, well, now I've done this. Where do I go to next? Because every time I do a sound, then everybody's copying it, right? So like there was a bunch of Bollywood songs I heard all of a sudden after that sounded very much like Suit. So I'm like, okay, well, where do we go from here? And then like,
so how do you deal with something like that?
We just go on to the next sound.
Got it. You just move on.
Right?
So I remember putting out Mukra with J Status. I put out the acapella to people.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing so you did a Bunga remix to it, which I was like sick. And I remember sending it to Movie Box going, this is sick.
Yeah, the Movie Box strike didn't take it off my channel.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably my fault. Cause I said, this is sick. Like what? I Movie Box, I like, what the fuck? Why is he this? And then I got in trouble because I said the vocal.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I was like,
Because back then, no one did stuff like that. I was like, yeah, everyone have the vocal. Everyone enjoy.
that's something that they used to do back in the day, you know, like you would, especially a lot of the UK releases,
You didn't have the stem splitters and all that stuff that you have now.
But you'd have the EP and you'd have like, you know, whether it be on like a vinyl or something, you'd get like the instrumental, the acapella, the song, the actual song, and maybe a remix or something, you know, like that was the thing.
You never developed the bhangra. Like I never heard anything like bhangra like for like at least a decade now, right?
So like before I did like Suit and stuff like that, like I was doing very much DJ Sanj-esque sound, you know, like I used to study his music a lot, you know, because I would hear like, you know, like for example, like Dasja, you know, this guy's main thing is that 4-step boom, 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 with the tool key, bass, you got your nice piece, you got to have a nice little hook in there. And I followed that formula for a long time, you know, and then I took off to India in 2014 and started doing 2013, it was around there anyways. And I started doing more Bollywood stuff, and it was a cool experience, but it was a really fucking like mentally draining experience as well, because you're sitting with a bunch of these old uncles trying to show them a new sound and try to give them something different and cool, and they're just shitting on everything, you know, or they would take what I make and they'd give it to another programmer, is what they call them, and
they bastardize it
exactly. Basically. And I'm like, yo, this is fucking absolutely ridiculous. Like I gave you guys this new fresh sound, and then the music I was making is really corny too, you know, like when I look back to it, I'm like,
cringe.
No one over here in Canada is listening to whatever I'm making over here. But when I went to India initially, I was taking that bhangra music I was making and trying to sell it off in India. But it was the same thing. They didn't understand what we were making over here. They were more like I had a song called Lonia Pendiyan, which is my first kind of like breakthrough track in Canada and in North America. And like we're talking about, you know, cruising around Surrey and, you know, drinking. I don't even know I can't remember half the lyrics we even said in there, but we're putting our glasses or whatever. And we took it to India and I played it for this, I remember this director for a movie, and he's like, it's a really cool song, but if you change this lyric to Chandigarh and talk about a bullet and talk about this, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. People will relate to that more over here, you know? So I started kind of like figuring out that the stuff I'm making here and the stuff I'm making there is not really resonating. So when I made Suit, which was such a simple, easy Punjabi song, right? Tenu Suit ka, there's 4 words. All across India can understand that, right? I'm like, let's give them a cool sound and do this. And it resonated over here too. We threw Arjun on the song as well, which added that kind of UK element as well. And we
very modern pop vibe.
Exactly. And then I came back home after that, and just, you know, on Toronto side, we have Deep Jandu, right? Deep Jandu was doing the stuff in Toronto. Yeah, Big Bird, stuff like that. So anybody that was coming to Toronto would come to Vancouver and they see me. So we were like, all the
East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, pretty much. He was the East Coast guy, I was the West Coast guy. So everybody coming to Canada for Mille or shows like that, they were doing the songs there, and then they'd come to me. So that's kind of how I started getting my foot more into the India side and Punjab side of things, and people started hearing the music more. When I did Suit, when I initially went there, like I won a PTC award for it, and I went on stage and I did a speech, and everybody thought I was a white guy. For a long time, they thought Intense was a white guy because the music was not Punjabi. Right? So yeah.
But then, you know, with all the singers you worked with, like say, my off and on basically love and hate relationship with singers, because like out of I must have worked with like at least 500 plus singers, right? I would say 80% of them are just proper fudus. They'll promise you everything. They're the most disloyal human beings you'll ever meet, right?
Yeah.
But there's 20% that are golden.
100%.
Right? And they'll promise you, bro, ride or die with you, bro. I'm with you, bro. Only you are gonna. And then like 5 minutes later, they're saying the same thing to the next guy.
There's zero loyalty in the game.
But
no one's your friend.
Singers are the worst.
Yeah,
the worst.
No one's your friend.
The bottom of the barrel, right? So out of all the singers, who is your rate is like your number one, like as the top 20%, which is solid, and who is at the bottom?
Like Jasmine for sure. Jasmine Sandlas
is on the top.
Yeah, she's definitely in the top, because the thing is, we came from a similar kind of scenario when she had taken off to India. She did Yaar Na Mile with Honey Singh.
Yeah.
And she was kind of trying to find her footing in Bollywood. And like at that same time, I was trying to do that. And then we both came back home around the same time.
Yeah.
And we were just talking. At that time, this is like 2012, I was working with Universal Music, and they had showed me Jasmine Sandlas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, she's really dope. We didn't really do anything from there. And then I was just kind of like, I saw one of her songs pop up, and I heard it was Tere Vangu. And I was like, yo, this girl's crazy.
Yeah, vocally, she's insane.
I was like, yo, I'm watching her sing, and like the emotions and everything. I'm like, yo, like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So I messaged her on Instagram, and then, you know, we connected and we talked for like 2 hours, and then I flew out to California and we ended up doing some music. And from there, it was like the music was just so like easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I would make something and then she would write something, and it was so emotionally driven from her side too. You could feel that whatever she's singing is coming from inside.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, we've never lost that connection. You know what I mean? Like we're talking, this is 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And till this day, like, you know, she's like the #1 freaking Punjabi artist in,
Yeah.
number one artist as
Yeah.
a vocal, female vocalist in India.
Yeah. No,
You know, she's got like 26 million monthlies on Spotify, which is like
insane.
unheard of.
How did you pitch it to her when you sent the DM? Hey, I got a hit for you or something.
No, I just said like, yo, let's work.
Yeah.
You know, and then we just talked, and it was like very similar scenarios. You know, she was trying to find her footing in Bollywood. Yadna Malay did really well for her, right? So she had this little bit of clout. I had done a record called Pani Wala Dance, which did really, really well. So we're both kind of in the same space of like things, but we're like, it wasn't like satisfying, you know?
Who's then who's on the other side? Like the flip side of being like the most fudu? We'll bleep it out. We'll bleep it out. Don't worry.
Man, honestly, there's a long list, to be honest with you.
Well, give us your top 10.
Okay, how about this? Okay, challenge. I'll drop a name and you drop a name. Cause you know what? I always get like comments. Why don't you say the name, bro? I said, okay, I'll say the name. Okay, I'll say the name. Okay, let's go.
Okay, well, I'll
name
say
for name.
Okay. I'll put it to you this way, okay? I'm not gonna say these people are fudus. I just say they're misguided.
Okay, misguided.
You know, I'll say misguided person.
Okay.
You know, I helped develop him a sound, and he kind of fucking threw me under the bus.
Wow.
Fucking when I came back to India, you know, I gave him a hit, and then, you know, they forgot.
And then he's like, who? I owe a name now, don't I?
You owe a name.
Okay.
It has to be.
We have to bleep these out though.
Well,
Well, we're gonna bleep. Yeah, don't worry. So remember I told you the story on the other podcast about the guy that called me a chumcha?
yeah.
And I told him to go fuck himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, Surjit Khan. He can go suck.
No,
he can suck my dick.
okay. I was trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah, he can suck my dick. But yeah, I mean, like so we did the Atom Bomb song.
Yeah, which was a wicked song.
Yeah. So then after that, they're like, okay, you have to do my album. And I'm like, I always start off like super chilled. I'm super chilled up until you annoy me. Then I just go right away. There's like no medium. I'm not diplomatic either.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at being diplomatic. But so then like, you know, I started all this hearing like, oh, it's Sanj's jump jaw and this and that. And I'm like going, why would I pick him up from the bus, and he doesn't even have a car, so I'm picking him up at the bus stop, this and that, right?
Yeah.
And dropping him off, come to my at the time I had the studio in the house.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I was disappointed.
Mhm.
And then from disappointment, it just goes, oh, that's I just, and then I just go, you know what? And I go, and then I think Ravi Bell ended up doing the album.
Yeah.
Because I said, listen, I don't give a shit. Go fuck off, right?
And it's like this, like you got to look at where that person is at their life now. You know what I mean? What are they doing with their life? Where are they in their life? You know, all props to him. He's had a resurgence in his career, but at the end of the day, it's because of the team behind him, the people that work with him, the guys that work with him. I'm friends with them. They're cool people. And I know with those guys behind him has gone and taken him in a different direction, which all props to him. If I probably saw him now, his tone would be different. You know what I mean? This is also 10 years ago. So, but like that was probably one of my worst experiences in my life because I literally flew halfway across the world. You said all this shit to my mom and dad to make.
But it comes down to character. See, my issue was, and this is where I was probably wrong in my career, is that working with someone, you should treat them like a colleague at work,
as opposed to friends.
as a or yeah, and then like we're boys. Like for me, loyalty is huge, right? So it's always like, oh no, it's emotional component to it.
Yeah, sometimes you mix the personal and the business.
Yeah,
You get
and
that.
so but because the music's so personal,
Yeah.
you can't help it. Like you're sitting in a room together, coming up with creative ideas, and their emotions are attached to it.
100%.
And then you can't help it. They're like, we're and it's a very social environment when you're making the music.
I'm sure if you saw him again, you're probably like, my mom made you biryani, man. Like,
Honestly, I haven't seen. There's been like times where like fuck, I've drunk tweets and like fuck this guy. It's happened.
Yeah.
And then he has messaged like, yo, like what's your problem? Like what's your beef?
Yeah.
And so that's when I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't even know what the fuck he did to me.
Yeah.
That's affecting me so much. Like, why do I give a fuck so much?
You know.
Right? So I'm like, whatever. It's water under the bus. But like, yeah, his teams have said like, yo, like let's get you guys back together. I'm like, honestly, man, I have no desire. I'm like, what benefit is he gonna bring to me now?
Yeah.
that after I've done that for him, like I can't do nothing for him. You know what I mean? There's no benefit for me working with him.
Also, it won't have the same taste. Like,
No.
like the
I have that sour taste.
yeah, the kid has already been planted.
Quality won't
now.
be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but I'll be honest with you, I think every artist has a certain fudu complex to them in some sense.
Yeah.
There's always little things. But it's about finding the good in everybody, finding the good in every scenario, you know, taking the good elements of that artist and making them into something cool. You know,
Well,
because
see,
the biggest problem is that a lot of those artists that were coming, everybody wants to be cool. They don't know what cool is. And that's
And it's always
essentially what it
changing.
is.
It's always changing.
Exactly.
But you've done such a great job with it.
Thank you.
Very generational, like you're generational talent, one of one. I'll be very
Appreciate it, man.
right?
Like it's
And not just me saying it, everyone says.
No, but my mom made sure to tell me, make sure you say tonight's things about it now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it.
Your mom was literally talking 30 minutes into the car.
Does your mom know that I'm here?
Yeah.
My parents don't know I'm doing this podcast.
Oh, they
yet.
don't know?
No, they don't know yet. Actually, no. Your mom probably told my mom.
It's already
Oh,
bound to
yeah.
happen.
100%. Your mom probably told my mom.
Yeah.
While they're in the hot tub together having like champagne or whatever. It's like, no, yeah. If people, you have to meet. Our moms aren't like the typical
No, not at all.
Desi moms that go to the Gurdwara.
Yeah.
They're more like,
They go to the Hamptons.
No, they hang out at the house.
They go to the Hamptons.
They'll open a bottle of wine. Yeah. And eat some good food.
Yeah. But you like lifting these talents up to another level. Some of these artists that you work with, right? They were popular, but you made them like fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like you made artists cool. Like, you know what I mean?
No, but
Obviously, you've guided them more than just the production. You probably give them the platform of, hey, this is gonna work and this is not gonna work, right? But when you were up and coming, when you're talking to T series and all that, how do you deal with going, I know this sound is gonna work compared to these guys are going ding 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 ding, right? Like, how do you lock in and go, I know this works?
Stubborn.
Be stubborn, I guess.
Stubborn.
Right?
Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Because the thing is, they knew it's
you have to be right.
yeah.
Because if you're not right, then they're gonna make sure you.
No,
they know.
you have to put your foot down
Yeah.
and be like, no,
Yeah.
we're doing it my way.
We're doing it my way.
So, you know the analogy is? The analogy is, you know, like when back in the day, when the guy's ready to on the base, he's ready to hit the home run, and he'd point, right?
Yeah.
Telling everyone that he's gonna hit a home run off the pitch over there.
Yeah.
And then everyone go, oh wow. And then when it happens, it's like you become legend status.
Yeah.
You have so like I would get in arguments and I said, listen, like even with Dust Jet was like a big argument.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, no, it's garage. I said, no, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Like, dude, no one listens to this. It's like it's wedding music. It's nothing, right? But then when you're right, everyone's like, genius, man, genius. And then you have clout.
Yeah.
Now with that clout, what do you do with it?
100%.
Then you gotta be right again, right? Like the thing is,
You got to always be right. That's the problem.
you're only as good as your last hit.
Because when you're wrong, it fucking hurts.
Oh yeah. Like
Wrong is not good.
Yeah.
But it's easier to be wrong now though, because
Oh, 'cause-
the thing is, if your song isn't a hit, it's because no one heard it.
Exactly. There is no right and wrong anymore. You know what I mean? I've had record I did a record 2 years ago called Sensation with a group called Zad Vibe. And dude, like zero marketing, zero. It was like we made the record in 8 hours. Four song EP. I mixed and mastered the next day and I dropped it the week after. And like 6 months later, some person in India did like this like Instagram reel of it and boom, went viral.
Yeah.
It's like,
And while I have songs, like I did my album last year, and like, yo, I got Diljit, I got Gurinder, I got big artists on the whole album, and it didn't even do fucking close to that.
That's like the Raj Brar song I did, I think it's 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
Gobindiya.
yeah.
So Gobindiya, right? When we did the song,
Yeah.
it's not even a full song. He literally forgot the lyrics of the song because he had a little bit, a little bit of that. And so what happened was, he goes, "Oh, forget this song." And so when we're doing the album, the label was like, "We need an extra song." I said, I don't have any more vocals of his, right? Like, and he's in India, and so the label was like, "No, we need another song." I said, I got a half a song. I got half a song. They go, and back then you couldn't do a 2-minute song.
No.
It had to be 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're thinking, okay, we'll add some dialogue. We'll do some extra stuff to it.
Yeah.
And make it a 3-minute song. Nothing happens, right, to that song. 15 years later, now it's like trending everywhere. And everyone's calling me up going, "Dude, we love your new sound." I'm like, "What are you talking about? This new sound with Raj Brar."
Why don't you
I said,
say
"Yeah,
thank you?"
But he passed away 10 years ago or something like that, right? It's like, "Oh, really?" They're calling me up. They don't even realize. I'm like, "How do you think it's a new sound? It's so old."
It's crazy, man.
And then you find out, I was like, how did it become? So I'm curious, how did it become viral? And then you find out in Punjab, you have these thing called reverb mixes.
Oh yeah, the like lo-fi reverb.
No,
like,
they literally, you know, the cheesy reverb you have on the old mixers.
Yeah.
You put you basically destroy the song.
Yeah.
By with the reverb on it, and then you do this with the music in the background, and then it just goes viral. I'm thinking, you know what? There's no way I can duplicate that. Like if it happens, it happens. Like I can't make a song so that you think like, oh, this is the one that's gonna get a reverb remix.
Yeah, no, it's and what they started doing in India is like with a lot of the labels, they just started automatically making those versions of those songs.
Yeah.
At the label.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know. And everyone's kind of like throwing darts and see what's gonna hit. Right?
And that's most of the hits nowadays. Like Channi Ga's Dakku song, same sort of thing. Like it was the one line and it got slowed down and they did like a reverb thing and then it became viral.
Yeah.
And then just continuation. Excuses. Kendi Hundi Si was like the main line, you know? And there was like all these different lo-fi version, reverb version, there's this version, that version.
But do you find like that, like for me, I find like there's no pressure now because you can put out anything you want. See what happens now. Whereas before it was like, I got to make a hit, man. We need to make a hit.
We're in a position now where like there's only a handful of people that have to really look at it like that. Like for example, like a Diljit or Karan Aujla, stuff like that. At the end of the day, people are going to listen to him one way or these artists one way or another. You know what I mean?
Well, the visibility.
Yeah, the visibility is huge. So whatever they're dropping, you're going to get that automatic amount of streams.
Yeah.
Whether it takes off or not is different, right?
But like 25 million views for like Karan Aujla is like, oh, flop, right? Like it's like,
yeah, which is crazy.
They're like, no, he should be having 500 million.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so that's like,
well, there was a change in India too, right? So for a while, India was going to be free internet. You know, you did a Geo SIM. They had it like for like 12 months and it was like 24 months. They extended it. So people were getting free music and Spotify was free. So the numbers were really big at that time. So if you notice, obviously songs are not hitting those 100 million, 200 million that easy how it used to be back in the day because of the India scenario.
Well, they're making up with a Google ad spend now.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know, right? So then they basically, you do the Google ad spend, so you hit your 5 million, your 7 million.
Oh, so I'm talking about like Spotify.
Yeah.
I guess YouTube goes in that as well, right? And then then you have your ad, the Google ads. Like, of course, you put your ad spend, you're gonna get your commercial shows up on somebody's thing, and then you get the view.
Because I was talking to people, I was like, because I'm always like, when I was coming back after over a decade, the whole game has changed.
Yeah.
Everything. I said, listen, I'm not interested in doing what I did before. I want to find out where the industry's going.
Yeah.
And I'm more interested in where I can do what I can do now to be 3 years ahead, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going, okay, well, so when you get the views, like I'm putting out stuff and the views are pretty crap, right?
Yeah.
So how are these guys? I don't even know who these people are, and they're getting like million in a week.
Yeah.
And they're going, so there's Google ad spend. They go, so how much you spend? So I know it's like 1 million streams is about $3,500 or something like that, right? Depending.
Depends, man. It's
Depends.
like,
But like India
if you're a good Google person,
Yeah,
they
India
can get it
views.
minimalized, you know?
Yeah, India views, or you want Punjab
or you
views,
Canada,
or you want
stuff like
Philippine views, or whatever, right? And then they go, so what's the point of doing it? They go, because if you have 1 million views and people see it, they're more likely to click on it versus if it's got like 87 views,
Yeah, 100%.
they won't click on it.
Very true.
I'm like, okay, so it's pay to play.
Pretty much.
So, you know, Desi mentality is like, oh, why have 1 million when you can have 500 million?
Yeah, exactly. They just go all in, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, so I was like really stressing about what should I adopt that business model.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, nah, I'm always been the conjuice, like cheap and cheerful. Even my videos, everything juice.
What are you?
Cheap and cheerful, man.
No, what would you say before?
Conjuice.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I must have been. Listen, I must have been. I guarantee you, in a previous life, I was a Sindhi and a Gujarati in a previous life. Okay, because when it comes to
Do you agree? Do you agree to this? What?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
Look, I'll tell you straight up, man. I when I first met Sanj, like I said, I met him. I was so excited to meet him, and I fucking hated his guts after because like he was so mean to me.
So I know,
but not to mean, but
I want to ask that actually.
Yeah,
So,
I thought this guy was an asshole.
so when you were mad at him, right?
Yeah.
Did that fuel you to be like, I gotta
yeah,
I gotta fuck this guy?
100%.
Yeah.
Because then I remember, I really, these are like key moments in my life. At the end of the day, I'm walking into this guy's house who I really, really look up to, and I play a beat for him. He's like, "Yo, this fucking sounds like somebody else," or "This sounds like this person." Or like,
no, but so when you
Hold on. Sure.
but I also took that as a compliment because I'm like, okay, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always okay out here. Like I'm in this middle age group, right, where like all the people that were older than me I was like in that kind of group, and then and then the generation younger. Right? I'm kind of in some weird place. So
You got
like,
the little best of both.
yeah, so like I was around all these guys that were much older than me that were trying to tell me like, yo, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is out of key, or that's not this, or that's not that. So like all that shit did fueled me, because I'm like, I went to India and I started doing music, and like half these guys that used to say that shit are all like, wow, bro, you're fucking killing it, man.
Yeah,
You're doing this. And I'm like, I just literally went to India and I started making music, and I took a couple pictures of fucking Himesh Shamia and something like this. I'm like,
Himesh.
now I'm the big dog here, right?
Yeah.
Nobody here really was doing anything. So it's like, look, I got to kind of be the guy now. If I'm going to do this, let's go and set this up. So yeah.
So you weren't like, I gotta fuck this guy up.
No.
I got a song called
think for me,
Excuses.
when it came to Sanj, it was more of a proving a point.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well,
That's what I
essentially
meant.
proving a
Yeah.
point.
Not like actually fuck you.
But it was more internal. I wasn't doing anything to him. It was more internal. Like,
It was
okay,
a driven moment.
yeah.
I remember the conversation, right? So the thing was like, I remember meeting at a
I feel like a therapist here with
No.
And it's, I was laughing. I was saying, like, this could be a therapy session.
So I remember meeting, we met at a party, and I remember saying, I said, we went at that conversation, I said, and I kept telling you, I'm really proud of what you did.
Yeah.
But I said, the reason why, because I never told you the reason why I said what I said. The reason why I said is, if I give you, my opinion shouldn't matter,
No, of course.
right? But the reason why I'm telling you is, look, you shouldn't give a shit what anyone says. If you're going to do it, no one can stop you. Because the problem is, you know that everyone says, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start in the music business? I would say, don't do it. Because most 9 out of 10 people are too soft, and it's going to break them.
And that's 100%. You got
And I was saying, look, if I listen to your mixtape or listen to, who gives a shit what I think?
yeah.
You make sure you're right, and the hits are going to come, and then it doesn't matter what anyone, including me,
100%.
right? And that was the point where much later we had that
And
conversation.
funny enough, I say the same shit now to anybody who asks me. It's like, look, what am I gonna fucking do for you? Even singers, like a new artist will come to me and they're like, hey, produce a record. Cool. Okay, you got a production from Intense. Now what are you gonna do with it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because Diljit songs or AP songs got hundreds of millions of streams doesn't mean that because Intense is on it, it's gonna become a massive hit.
They think you
have to
GOAT.
put the work in.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? We're in a, like I said, we're in a different day and age where 50%, not even 50%, like 40% is the music, okay?
Yeah.
The other 60%, you gotta be a social media personality. You gotta put yourself out there. Have your reels done. You gotta become a personality. So
It's a 360 plan now. And
Yeah.
you're an entertainer, but then so it comes down to the first thing. You're not an artist.
no, you're an entertainer.
You're an entertainer. And I knew that long time ago because I'm like, look, because at that time, I remember it was like £10 for a CD in England. I'm thinking, and that time it was $2.2 dollars to the pound.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, $20 for a CD? I got to convince someone, like literally convince them, spend your $20 to buy my CD. I better entertain you. Like for me, it was just so like it was just common sense, right? Like forget me being like, and then I made Master of Destiny, which is me being an artist.
You know the funny thing, that was the first CD I bought of yours.
Yeah, and it tanked.
it wasn't good. Sorry.
But I was like,
I mean-
I'm gonna go to India. I'm gonna record with Bollywood singers. I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna write together. And I was feeling my artistic side, and I thought, never again am I doing that shit because it crashed and burned. But then when I think as an entertainer, what's gonna make people either happy, sad, want to dance? Then it was very easy to focus on the project, and then I could find the right singer for the project. So everything kind of clicked into place with that mentality for me. The irony is now it's just normal. You can't be an artist; you have to be an entertainer.
You're full on entertainer nowadays, you know? You know, that's funny. I was saying, like, that was the first CD I bought of yours.
Yeah.
It's just because, and like I was saying, there was nothing we could relate to really growing up.
Yeah.
You're either getting Punjabi albums or you're getting UK stuff. Yeah. And then I saw that cover. I was like, this guy's
What'd you think of that
with
picture,
the little
man?
globe in his hand. I'm like, yo, this is like cool, you know? Like, as a kid, I'm like, yo, this doesn't look dissy. So,
Yeah.
And Music Waves released it in Vancouver,
yeah,
right?
and that's
So-
about that Ravi video.
yeah.
I remember going with my mom, and I'm like, I remember picking out CDs. When I went to go buy B21, and I bought Ears.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking, this is cool. And then I'm getting yelled at by the Ravi video guys, like, you shouldn't be listening to this stuff. I'm like, why?
No, but
Is that place still around, Ravi Video?
No, not anymore.
no, they own Red FM now. so they get it on one for themselves.
We won't talk about that. We won't talk about Red FM.
Beep. No, that's what we'll beep out. Forget this before. We'll do this. We'll
But
do
the
that.
drama between you guys, honestly, better than the Sony anything like Punjabi channels or anything like that?
Well,
But that you
no
can
drama. It's all love.
No, I mean like
There-
I mean
no,
like the connection.
at the end of the day, it was like, look, I was a kid. I'm talking like I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Meeting this guy for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm coming in as a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One thing I learned is that don't be a fucking fan if you're gonna meet an
No, because don't you get like weird when people are like that with you?
I hate it. Well, okay, I don't hate it. I like it, but at the same time,
It's just
it's like there's a portion of like overbearing. You know what I mean? It's like, look, cool. You like my music? It's awesome. I appreciate it. I don't want to have to explain the same fucking story 10,000 times to every person. You know what I mean? If you want to hear the story, go watch a podcast or go watch these kind of things. You know?
because the other thing is I would hit his parents and drink, right?
Yeah.
So I would have drinks with his mom and dad. So like
You told me you don't drink anymore. So how does
no, this is years ago.
Oh,
This is years ago. But what I'm saying is like the Mahal, the environment I was around with his family, we're talking like over 20 plus years, 25 years.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, Sanj is closer in age to my parents than he is to
Yeah.
me, which is actually kind of funny.
I call his dad Podgy.
What about maturity wise?
Yeah.
Maturity wise. You're close.
No,
But no, maturity-wise, he's younger than me.
yeah. Listen, I think I'm 16. You're 31. No. But the problem is when I hang out with people my age, I go, "You guys are so old and boring.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have no fun in you."
Yeah.
Like that's not. What'd you do all weekend? Oh man, I had to do paperwork. I had lots of paperwork. I'm like, fuck that shit, right?
Your producer tag. Did you have different versions, or was that the one?
Yo, it was like this. Pretty much, I was on.
Was there funny ones? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Here's the thing. It just stuck, right? It wasn't even my producer tag. It was my DJ tag.
Oh,
I had it from like 2002 when I started making remixes.
Got it.
I went on Fruity Loops and I typed in Intense, and that's what came out.
Yeah.
And then I threw it on the song, and like in high school and all the people, because we used to use MSN Messenger. That's how I used to send songs off back in the day, right? So that's what stuck. So every time I'd go around, people like Intense, and that's
You appear offline on Messenger.
But so how did the name come up though? Because I never knew you as like intense, right? I always knew
Anil, yeah.
Anil, right? So like,
It's always funny when I hear.
are you intense?
I'm the least intense person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This guy knows I'm not.
It even struck me as intense.
You know, like you're always trying to come up with DJ names.
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine that I used to play Feel Lucky with, and we were at his house, and he just kept saying the word intense. He's like, "Yo, that shit's intense, man. This is intense. That's intense." I'm like, DJ Intense.
Did you have anything else?
That was it.
Did you have any other names, like other DJ names?
Yeah, it was. What did I have it before that? I was like Tricks, DJ Tricks. I was like, and so then my cousin, I'm like, yeah. There you go. That's exactly what my
Tricks
cousin
are
was
for
like,
kids?
Tricks are for kids. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be retired.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You know what? I always regretted not coming up with a clever name. Because I would just go, yeah, I'm just Sanj.
No, that was the best thing you did
You think
because because when it comes to like, registering your name and all these kind of things and like ownership, having your own name, I think is the best thing ever.
Best thing.
No, because I was just Sanj, and then everybody go, so what do you do? I said, I kind of DJ. They go, so DJ Sanj? Like that's literally what it was. I would say Sanj, so DJ Sanj? And I'd be like, and then it just stuck. And then I ended up buying the .com when the internet first started, basically, I bought djsanj.com. And then I got it. And then I was like, and then it just stuck. And then I tried changing JNads and all these different names.
Yeah.
But it just couldn't. But you're DJ Sanj, right? Man.
Because you're a producer and you hate the title of just being DJ.
No, yeah, that's part. Yeah, that's part of it for sure. But then I always thought it was like DJ Kevin. Like, do you mean like it's just DJ Kevin?
I get it.
So I was like, I wish I came up with something. I always wish I was like, if I were to do it all over again.
Like right on the spot, what would you switch it to?
I thought JNads was clever. Sanj backward.
Yeah, stick with DJ Sanj.
Right.
Stick with DJ.
So, yeah.
No,
Segue.
look, it has a nice ring to it though. That's why it worked.
Yeah.
DJ Sanj.
Well, it's like Apple. Yeah. Apple's not Apple anymore. It's just, you know what Apple is now. It's Apple's a computer.
But what was Apple before?
Huh? It was an Apple.
Was it in like Macintosh or something?
No, it was always Apple.
Oh,
Macintosh was a computer under Apple.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So like now, so when you're doing with all the singers and stuff like that, so I come from the era where the paperwork was really bad, right? They didn't understand what publishing was.
Yeah.
Royalties. You got paid. Here's a £300, £500, whatever. We own it. And even back then, like the paperwork was pretty shoddy.
Yeah.
So now I find that everyone's a little bit more clued up on points, publishing, royalties. So when you're doing your deals now, like how are they structured?
This always depends on the artist, right? I was one of the, I guess, fortunate ones in my scenario. My parents made me go to school for music and like learn the business and stuff like that. So I got to learn, I learned about mechanicals and different types and publishing and everything. So I set my shit up like 2011, like before I released my first album. And at that time, like I was trying to shop my first album was called More Than Just a DJ. Cause like I said, the DJ, I was trying to drop the DJ Intense.
Yeah.
Before I was trying to shop to different labels and nothing was like, no one was taking it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, then I discovered TuneCore.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, look, I can do this independently. So that's what I started doing. When it comes to artists nowadays, like just doing paperwork and stuff like that, it's like, look, it's all artist dependent. I'm not gonna sit here and toot my own horn, obviously, but I've done a lot of crazy shit. So
You should toot your own horn.
yeah, I know.
Listen, someone's got to do it.
Yeah. I can't be doing it all day, man.
Someone's got to be doing tooting.
Intense. I can't be doing it all day here for you.
You can't expect me and Nick to do all the tooting for you. You got to do some tooting yourself.
Yeah.
Keep tooting away. Fucking hell. I set myself up for that.
Yeah, you walked into that one. Hence the mature 50-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just like, look, at the end of the day, I structure my deals into how I want to do things. To be honest with you, I'm not really in the space of where I'm working with too many artists like that. I'm more in the artist development space where I'm finding new artists that I feel can go and go. I did it with everybody already. You know what I mean? Like,
So if Diljit walks up to you and says, okay, song for a song, or is he gonna go, okay, my lawyer's gonna send paperwork and we'll do points, or like how like what is
yeah, so like, you know, with Diljit, like I've done, you know, paper song, a pub, stuff like that, and like sometimes, you know, and then I've also taken songs from him as well. We'll do song for song deals, right? Like,
but he's not a points guy.
No,
because some people are points people. You know what? No money. We don't talk about money. Let's just do points. We're equally invested.
I prefer to do points, with any of the artists, because at the end of the day, like, look, how I look at it in any relationship with the artist, I'm like, we should both earn equally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm doing the work, you're doing the work.
If it's a hit, we should all benefit from it.
Like, we should make money together. AP was the first person that actually approached me like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, okay, I'll give you a song, you give me a song. He's like, no, bro. He's like, if this song does better than that one, it's not going to feel good. You know what I mean? If you're making more money or I'm making more money, it's not going to feel good. We split everything properly, equally, and we do it like this, and no one can say anything to each other. And that relationship is why it's still there.
But see, the other thing I noticed is that on your run, like when you guys came in, your generation, piracy was on downslope.
No, piracy was fucking still. Like,
no, it was at the top, it was at the peak. Like
for you guys, it was
it decimated our industry,
Yeah.
right? But for you came at the so it was up here and it was going downward,
Yeah, because
right?
because iTunes came out, and then the streaming,
and there was money now. Like you could see it, you could count it, right? Because now you can go on on dashboards and see it. Whereas we never had any of that, right? It was like all like shady deals or distributors or whatever, right? So
you don't know where the money's going or what's happening with it or anything nowadays at those times. And so I would say pre-COVID, people were still kind of in that, like, they didn't really get it. A lot of the artists were still going and making their songs and selling it to the label. Label knew what they were doing. They're making a killing, you know? Come COVID, all these artists can no longer do shows. And you saw that there was no music coming out. And that's when guys, like for example, like AP and Gurinder and Shinda came out. And they found this like empty void of space that like, hey, look, independent music, no one's taking advantage of this. Let's start putting music out. They took advantage of it and they carried it, built their name. Then I met them in March of 2020. And, you know, that started a whole new wave of how music was being released and how people were looking at it. Sidhu started doing it. Karan started doing it. You know, everybody realized that independent music is where it's at. The labels became obsolete. You know, now we're at a point where the labels have now realized it, but it's not just T-Series. Now we got the big guns, Warner Music, Sony, Universal. And
so are you signed right now to a label or is it just a publishing deal?
I'm with Sony Music for my publishing.
Okay.
They're fucking awesome. I love them. They take care of everything. And the thing is, like, it took Spotify to start showing the numbers of what we're making and what our streams are for them to really take us seriously. Because, like, you know, you got this white kid that's sitting in freaking Abbotsford who's like getting a crazy deal or these crazy grants for like 20, 30 grand. And you got this brown kid who's actually making, you know, money off his music, doing things, not getting anything, you know? Yeah. And they started really like, yo, like, why are we giving money to the wrong people here? Like, this is the scenario these are the scenarios that are actually working. Let's go and figure this out, right?
But a big thing is that the demographics of the country have changed as well. The amount of Punjabi speaking people in Canada is like at least, I think, 10, 15 fold from what I remember.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great example. I remember when we did a show together at, I think it was the old Wild Coyote
Yeah.
What was it called? I can't remember the name of the.
That was in, like, near the airport, right?
Yeah. It was like, I think you had done Apple Bottom Jeans at that time.
Oh, yeah.
So you had done a release party. I was had like a song release, but the club night, dude. If you can pull in 150 people, you were doing good.
Yeah.
Where now, like, dude, like you gotta freaking push people away.
Well, clubs are dying right now, right? It's pretty much on
club,
Yeah,
culture's
but
dead.
Punjabi
Yeah,
nights are stronger than any other club night.
I'm talking like
Now
club
we're
owners all across Canada, and that's literally like, yo, they're like, these clubs would never do a Punjabi night ever in their lives.
Yeah.
They're like, you're the guys, the only one that's spending money, so we have to do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if they don't want to, man. Like the thing is, it's like the reason why, like, all the majors, or like even, like, for example, even fast food joints, well, they got like the pakoda sandwich or something now, like at Mickey D's or something.
Yeah.
It's just
It's demographic.
because
Pakoda sandwich
demographic
at
change.
Mickey.
Tandoori burger.
So for the first time, like for me, because
What a sandwich, man. That's disgusting.
listen, if McDonald's takes my idea, I want my royalties, okay?
Pakoda.
But like fundamentally, that's where our power is as a community. Because I remember a point where like we were the minority, like a small minority. We had no leverage, no power. Now, as a community, we have so much leverage and power for pushing our culture.
The momentum has switched so much.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
But the business model, they recognize it. So now
That's right. Yeah.
we're important to them because we spend, we make money, we work hard, we spend, and now they want our money.
Well, we create jobs as well. I think that's one of the big.
All around, like, look, at the end of the day, like Punjabi culture in general, like, yo, we come wherever we go, we fucking take over.
That's.
Hey. Oh, yeah.